This video is brought to you by Cracks Only. The link is in the video description below to get the latest gear off their website. Whether you play football or you don't, there is something there for everybody. Straight out of LA. Check it out. Good morning, people. Welcome to United View. Good morning. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hope you guys are doing well. Weather here is grim, man. Not gonna lie. The weather where parts of the country me and Owen are in, it's pouring down. So hopefully that isn't the case for you. Some people got snow in the UK as well, actually. So whatever the weather.
Do you know what I like to do sometimes, particularly sometimes when it's a solo stream, I like to say, where are you watching from and what's the weather like? Old school United View. Really early back in the day. Really early.
Why did we do that? I wish we just wanted to just know, because we were like,
fascinating.
Just want to just know.
Interesting. Yeah. It's just interesting to see.
And we still want to know. Still want to know. This rain can move, man, says Court Star. Getting in there early, says Edgar with the Pharaohs. Just said to put mine in from now. Hey gents, good morning, says Ashland. Cape Town, mile 22, says Keegan. Yeah, I saw, I was watching Good Morning Britain, and Andy Peters, as always, is doing giveaways and giving away holidays and throwing away money. And he was in South Africa, and it said like 21, 22. So interested you say that. Singapore, hot and humid.
They're always on a beach, aren't they? Going, you can come here. We're giving away the holidays here. Brilliant. And I always just think that must be the best job. You know what I mean? Just a little remote on the beach.
Amazing.
Going, it's lovely here. Yeah.
That'll be, imagine being able to do that, to give away holidays and stuff like that. But yes, let us know where you're watching from. Smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. As you've just seen, unless you've literally only just turned us on, this video is brought to you by Cracks Only, of course. Big streetwear and football brand out there in Los Angeles. Alfredo and the gang doing massive stuff out there stateside. They've got MLS players wearing all of their merch and training gear. They've got college players wearing their merch and training gear. And they've also just got regular people wearing their stuff, because I am none of those. I am not a college player. Yeah. I am not an MLS player. Wasn't quite good enough. But you can get the link in the video description below to check out all of the latest stuff from Cracks Only, whether it's your undergarments, your grip socks, your training gear, your compression shorts, etc., your boot bags, or your wash bags, or hoodies, etc., t-shirts, backpacks, big, massive winter jackets, puffer jackets. It's not just set for weather in LA as well. So please do check out the link in the video description below. Quite a few of you have messaged me on personal and sort of said that, the stuff was really good. So thanks for enlightening us and bringing us that. So yeah, big up to you guys, man. Big up to you guys. What we got on the show this morning, we've got Ivan Toney, United move, ? A piece from The Athletic, more of an opinion piece, but we'll talk about that, what that will look like in the summer. Obviously, Thomas Frank saying the other day that, they know they're going to lose him, but should United be in for him? Want to just open up the floor on that one. Summer transfer targets in general, and Kobbie Mainoo England call up. Is it too early? Do we want to see that? Are we getting too ahead of ourselves? And also, there was a bit about from Berbatov as well. Dimitar Berbatov sort of saying, "Calm down, calm down." So yes, I want to get your thoughts and opinions on all of that. But Owen, straight off the jump, right at the top of the list, Ivan Toney.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one, as you mentioned. It comes from The Athletic, and basically they've done an article which is Ivan Toney's likely to leave in the summer. Who's going to be interested? I think the title of the article is actually like, who should sign Ivan Toney? And they go for a list of Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, Man City, Spurs, etc., etc., etc. So when it comes to the Manchester United rationale, shall we say, this is what they've said. They've said the case for United to sign Toney is a simple one. Despite Rasmus Højlund showing enough promise in this debut season to suggest he can lead the line at Old Trafford for years to come, he is currently manager Erik ten Hag's only recognised and consistently available centre forward. Anthony Martial's impact this season has been negligible, even on those rare occasions where he has not been sidelined through illness or injury, and he is set to leave the club when his contract expires in the summer. Ten Hag would ideally have signed a proven, dependable and experienced striker to provide competition for Højlund last year. That vacancy is still open. Toney fits the bill perfectly, and United have been watching his return in recent weeks with interest. So I guess a bit of news in there that they have been watching and monitoring him, certainly. Now, they say, would Brentford's asking price complicate matters? Quite possibly. United have stressed the importance of the remaining profit and sustainability rule, PSR compliance, since last summer, and sales of current players may be required before any major business can be done. Again, another bit of news when it says, the summer is really dependent still on actually selling players too. Finally, they said, but put the finances aside for one moment, and a 28-year-old striker with a proven Premier League record who can combine with and compete with Højlund is exactly the type of profile United need and will be looking for. So I put the question to you, Flex. I put the question to you, chat. We'll put a poll in just a second. Ivan Toney in the summer, yes or no? Deal or no deal?
Depends on the money, man. Depends on the money. Because he is going to cost a lot. He's going to cost a lot. I know they wanted 100 million for him in this January, and that was never going to happen. That price will probably drop a little bit because he's only going to have 1 year left, and he has to leave. They've already said it. He has to leave in this summer. Not going to be any shortage of takers. Arsenal going to be in there. I think Chelsea could be in there. Depending on what happens at Newcastle, you never know. If they had to sell Isak or balance some books or something happened, you just never know. Or they got an injection of cash and wanted to bring him back. Okay, let me look at this from a squad perspective. I think that part of it where it says someone who can compete with Højlund, experienced, Premier League proven, going to score a lorry load of goals, knows his way around the league, good quality. It's good. It's great quality to have in a squad. And if we did have two options of Toney and Højlund, I'm having that. That's good. However, the money that we then have to work out how much we want to keep Højlund back as well, because Ivan Toney coming to the club, let's be honest, he's 28. He is this move is for him to go somewhere and be the man. Okay? The guy. Starting every game, 90 minutes. Like, even if he went to Arsenal, it's like, mate, kind of a rotation with you and Jesus certain games, those peaks. Not, I know you're a better goal scorer than Jesus.
I think he'd start over Jesus.
I don't know, mate. Like, it's certain games, they might be like, I don't know. But if they spent the big money, then it would suggest he would, right? But what I'm saying is on their day, of course, Ivan Toney's a better goal scorer, but what Jesus actually gives to the team. But they might slot him in somewhere else. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Martinelli might have to sit sometimes and Jesus can go on the left or whatever. But he wants to come and be the main guy. Now, Højlund is our main guy now, and he shouldn't be, but he has to be. Is Ivan Toney going to be happy to come on I'll help this kid, I'll lead it? No, I don't think Ivan Toney's going, it's time for me to be the man. I ain't coming to do no babysitting. I ain't coming to do no help this kid do that. And, it'll be a team player, but we'd have to say you have to be the main man. Now, Højlund's only 21. Does he have to be the main man right now? The original plan, we've kind of forgot what the original plan was because we've been put with this plan. The original plan was to get the Kane, an Osimhen, maybe a Toney, and this young raw kid could come in and out. But now we've seen a bit of him and seen that, I'll tell you what, he's handy. Another year being the main guy, keep playing him. Then when you take him out, you kind of need maybe a different backup striker to Højlund. Maybe not one as good as Ivan Toney, if you get what I mean. But if the economics worked and a player wanted it, I wouldn't be mad. But I don't know it. I think it could be quite difficult to have someone like him here now. We're seeing how Højlund's developed. I'd never thought I'd be in this position or be thinking this sort of less than a year in. But maybe again, we shouldn't really forget that he is still younger. Just because he's going through a good bit of patch form now, we still can't forget the original plan. Yeah. Downs. But I just don't think Ivan Toney will want to be that guy, personally.
I think it's an interesting one. I agree with you in the sense of I don't think, unless he went to like a city, which he won't, I don't think, you don't sign Ivan Toney for him to be sort of rotational. Wow, he's got to work his way into the squad. You sign him, you play him, don't you? You put he's your starting number 9. Would that be the case if he went to United? I still think it probably would. probably just because you would have seniority in the sense that you're older, more time in the Premier League. It'd be a great option for United to have two proper strikers in the sense of, I mean, Højlund, we're hoping now, aren't we, that he's aiming for 5 in 5 at the weekend. He's got 4 in 4 plus 2 assists. And still, I'd still think there's a very strong argument to say United still aren't playing towards his best capabilities. I mean, he's still, he's more adjusting than the players adjusting to him, to be honest with you. So I think it's quite clear with Højlund that the best is still obviously yet to come, and he's still improving. It would be nice to have that other option, wouldn't it? It would be nice to have that other option. But like you say, if you sign Ivan Toney, you sign him to start. You don't sign Ivan Toney to be like, okay, right, he's going to be an option with Højlund. Some games he's going to play, some games he's not going to play, considering how much you're going to spend on Ivan Toney as well. Like,
how much do you think he'll be?
Well, I don't think Brentford will get that. Like, they're saying 100 million. They're not getting that. No. They're not.
70?
But I mean, it'd be around that ballpark, I think. 70, 75, maybe around that kind of thing. And I know people go, yeah, but year left. It's Premier League. He's an English player. It's goals, 70, 70, and it's goals. Yeah. And how often have we spoken about that? Just finding someone that you can near enough guarantee will score goals in today's day and age is really difficult. Really, the striker market is not great at all. Even you look at like a Victor Osimhen, right? Last season or a couple of seasons, be like, he's £100 million player. This season, you're like, well, maybe not.
Looking a bit, watch him in AFCON as well.
Yeah. So, but with Ivan Toney, fairness to him, he was out for a long time, come back in, just start scoring again. You know, just what he does. Because he scores goals, because it doesn't faze him. So
it does help him that the striker market's like that. Like, it helps Brentford.
Well, it helps Brentford.
That's a rarity.
Exactly.
Brentford,
Can I see him? To be honest with you, I just can't see it happening with United. I don't. I think for me, if he was going to move in the summer, I think it would probably, I still lean towards Arsenal. Kind of a missing piece for them, really, isn't it? A bona fide goal scorer, a bona fide number 9, a bit like with Haaland a couple of years ago when they're like, well, they need a striker, even though they didn't really need one because they just won the league with false 9. But still, you could look at them and say it's more of a missing piece. Chelsea, I mean, if
they can find the FFP to do it, they'll do it.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Well, they'll try. Yeah. I have no doubts that they will try. They'll go like Conor Gallagher. You get out, academy player FFP.
He's the best player.
Maybe look towards a couple of other ones. Go, who's come through the academy here? You can go. Don't worry. Like they'll try. They'll find a way. Brozier, they'll go. Let's get like a light sort of 30, 40 million, maybe. Yeah, exactly. So we can raise some funds and suddenly, we'll get Ivan Toney with that. It's just a case of, does Ivan Toney want to go to Chelsea? When look at them. I mean, I know they won last night, but still, look at them. So I don't know. From the United perspective, I just don't see that happening. I do think we'll enter the striker market in the summer, but I think it's going to be either like maybe a similar age to Ivan Toney, but less stature, so it's less money. So it's an option to compete.
Is it imperative then that we don't go and get another young striker? Or does it depend how good he is already?
Well, it depends. It depends. To be honest with you as well, it depends what second half of the season Rasmus Højlund has. If Rasmus Højlund starts picking up goals for the rest of the season, and as you go, well, then boom, he's actually starting to really come into play earlier than we thought he was. And particularly when you compare it to the start of the season, we might get to the end of the season and be like, you got to start Rasmus Højlund every single week, mate. He's scoring goals all the time. He's adjusted. We didn't see that coming. So I think the rest of the season will dictate that. I think most likely it's either going to be, like I said, a bit older than Højlund, maybe similar age to Ivan Toney, but less money, less stature. Or it might even be, Rasmus Højlund's 21 now? It might even be younger. It might be younger than him. It might be like an 18-year-old or something like that, where they go, right, Højlund's the senior striker. Maybe they just look at what's going on in that squad at the moment with the young players going through and to say more of that. Although it would throw caution at that because you do need a good balance.
Yeah, but I think the question I want to ask, actually, before I do that, let's get to the super chats. And please do like the video. We're at just over 700, nearly 800 people watching live, 114 likes. Let's keep going. Let's keep going on our way to 1,000 watching live. Share the video as well. Put it in your WhatsApp groups. Share it to friends and mates. Let them know we are live. Let's go. Zayn Miassi says, Toney is ours. Wants to stay in London and lead us to the league and Champions League. Zayn Miassi's back. I ain't seen Zayn Miassi in a hot minute, actually. You've been good, Zane.
But
he says hands off.
He disappears.
He
disappears.
Yeah,
you say anything about Arsenal and go, oh, no.
He does.
I imagine him getting ready in the morning, do whatever he's needing to do, sip a cup of coffee. Then he just hears we're on in the background, and he hears something in the background. He goes, Ivan Toney goes, oh.
Exactly.
Run across the other side of the room.
Just come running and got to put my 10 pence in. SK says, morning, Toney could be an option at the right price. People fear he wouldn't want to be on the bench, but surely we can manage more than 2 strikers. Had 4 like back in the day, I think. Yeah. It's true. Maybe we're underestimating that Toney could want to come here and be on the bench some games, and I don't know, bro. He wants to play, man. He needs to go.
Yeah.
He can't leave Brentford now being the main man. I know there's levels of saying like, but mate, you come from Brentford, you've got to realize it's a big club, it's competition for places. But in the number 9 position, with how good he is and his numbers, and we know how confident Ivan is. We all know it, and he deserves to be that confident because he backs up his talk. He deserves to go with someone as main striker,
like your Solskjaers, Sheringham's, coming on back in the day, like 4 strikers, but you're content to be not a bit part player, but you're content to be like, right, I'll start on the bench, work my way in. If you know this team's going to be competing for league titles or winning league titles, you go
multiple,
I've got to get multiple competitions, get my medals in. When it's like United at the moment, going, well, what are they going to win, really?
Yeah. And we only play 1 striker now as well in this day and age.
Exactly, so it used to be 4-4-2.
If you are a 4th choice. Before, that would mean your 2nd choice if you were 4th choice, because there was always 2 strikers starting. So you were the 2nd or the 1st option. Now, if if there's 4 strikers and there's only 1 position, mate, you don't want to be 4th choice striker, do you?
Yeah, exactly.
Or 3rd, really. It's never going to happen. Even 2nd. It's just, do you know what I mean? It's just not what you want unless you're at that stage of your career where you don't mind being 2nd. Bruv, great name, says, when was the last time Owen wore shorts? Or better yet, left the house? Get him to a game, Fleck. Is Owen?
I left the house yesterday. I went for. I did some exercise. Yeah, yesterday. I even messaged Fleck afterwards as well. So I've just done some exercise. As far as
you wear shorts.
As far as shorts, I was just trying to think. It's been quite cold. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those
freezing, mate.
Yeah, I'm not one of those people that even like in the winter, people turn up the heating and then walk around the house in shorts.
I was just about to say that I'm capable of that.
I don't get that.
I'm capable of that. Yeah, I do. I'm capable of that. Or maybe the heat. Yeah. I'm capable of that. So, sometimes it get a bit hot. Like I just
turn up the heat in so much that you have to wear shorts.
No, it's not turn up so I'm too hot. It's just, it's turn up to the where it needs to be to keep the house at a decent.
Yeah,
because it's
freezing. It'd be uncomfortable.
Outside.
It'd be uncomfortable if you wore.
Yeah, too hot. Right,
turn it down then.
Wear a t-shirt.
turn it down then.
No, but it needs to be that because otherwise the house is too cold. It's weird. I don't know. Back me up if you not do the same thing. No. You know what I mean? But obviously Owen. Owen.
Yeah, I've prepared myself this morning.
Yeah,
we'll work towards it.
We'll work towards it. Naresh says, sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. Says, Toney to United is just stupid. Lose situation. He either needs to be a 2nd striker, lose for him, or Rasmus needs to be benched, lose for us. And that's what I want to ask people: is that a loss? Is it okay for Rasmus to, in his 2nd season, not be as dependent, for us to not be as dependent on him because he's still young, and actually, we should keep him back a little bit and take the pressure off him and let him learn off another senior striker? Or is it now like we're in the mode? I feel like because he's in good form, we're sort of swaying towards the mode of let him cook, keep playing him, give him as many games as possible, just have somebody there to just fill in the odd time. Are we more leaning towards that? Or are we still like trying to go back to last year's plan, which was get a senior striker, a proven striker, and let this kid learn? Where are we? Because I feel like we're leaning more towards, we can see he's got a bit about him. So actually, let's keep playing him and get the backup to him. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, like I said, I think it's interesting because I do think the sort of perception has changed a little bit, hasn't it?
Has.
I do think that in a couple of months ago, if we were having this conversation a couple of months ago, I think people would have been like, yes, we need like a Toney in, Rasmus isn't ready, all this kind of stuff. And it's amazing what can happen in just a few games if you start scoring some goals. That's why I say I think the remainder of the season is going to be really interesting because I think the perception of Højlund is going to look possibly very different in a few months' time. If he continues scoring like he is, I mean, I don't think it's going to be every game, but
No,
if he
of course
continues
not.
scoring goals, but if he ends the season with, I mean, what in the Premier League? So he's got, what, is it 4 or is it 5?
He's got
5 goals,
I think.
5 in the Prem. What number would he have to end on in the Premier League? Not all comps, Premier League, which you would go, actually, I tell you what. Can he end on 15?
He can. It depends. We have to see more. He's in a good little patch right now where his confidence was really low pre this batch of goals here in the Premier League. But he's clearly, we can see he's got the tools to get 15 goals.
There's something there. There's something there.
Absolutely, especially if we keep feeding him. He's got a bit of individual brilliance about him as well, as we've seen. But now he's confident. He can get a lot of goals in a short period of time. It feels like it has that feeling anyway. Dan says prime Ivan Toney or prime Kevin Phillips.
I tell you what, Kevin Phillips was so nice, wasn't he?
He won the Golden Boot in 2000. Like, he was unbelievable. One of the best strikers in Europe that season at Sunderland.
And even just late on throughout his career, I remember him scoring goals for like Crystal Palace. In I think it was a playoff final or something like that. There's one playoff final he scores goals. Like, he just scored goals. And that's what's funny. There are those strikers throughout Premier League history that maybe don't get the credit that they deserve, but did score a ton of goals, like proper goal.
I put up his record here: 208 games for Sunderland, scored 113 goals.
Yeah, crazy.
Southampton played 64, scored 22. West Brom played 71, scored 38. Even at Watford, played 59, scored 24. Like, he's always been a goal scorer.
Yeah.
Kevin Phillips, man. Started going down obviously towards the latter stage of his career. Crystal Palace played 14, scored 6. Then the second one, he didn't score any. Leicester, he finished there. Birmingham, 69 games, 19 goals. So, prime Toney, I mean, he's mixing it with some absolute monsters, isn't he? And Harry Kane and Haaland, and he's been able to be right there.
Right at the top, yeah.
Right
exactly.
At the Premier League,
exactly.
On a consistent level. So, I don't know. I'd probably go with... I don't know about the levels that I don't know if Ivan Toney's going to hit a level that Kevin Phillips hit in one season where he outscored everyone. He was the best. But that's a bit unfair now because, look, you got Haaland, did have Kane for ages. We'll see. Sanjit says, I'm a big Toney fan, but is he really worth 60 million plus? And should we be spending that for a rotation striker? Now, over to you, because actually, Nubian Pharaoh has got fighting talk for Zayn Miyasse. I've had a read of that super chat. That is fighting talk. But Owen, over to you first.
Good morning, folks. Toney is United. So hands off. Zayn, if you like, we can lay the cash down. May the best man win. United, United, United.
Zayn, let me tell you something. Just really quickly. For your own safety, Zayn.
Lay the cash down.
For your own well-being, bro. I'm going to look directly down the lens because Zayn's always been the original, to be fair. Like, always coming through.
This is like a proper clash, actually, at the time.
But there's clashes and then there's clashes. It's like someone saying, right, Zayn, just to let you know the levels. You're a good lyricist. You can do battle rap and stuff. You can't clash Eminem, bro. Lyrically. Like, you just can't. There's levels. So if I was you, I would not get drawn in to a cash off with Nubian Pharaoh because you will lose, bro. It's not worth it. Clash of the cash, says Lil Yo-Yo. It's not. Zayn, put your pride. El Clasico, Zayn, put your ego and pride. El Clasico. Yeah. Put your ego aside and just allow it. Because sometimes there's levels. And Nubian's not a normal. He's a pharaoh, bro. He's not even a normal person.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. There's levels.
Yes.
As Keegan says, there's levels to this, and Zayn isn't it. And listen, Zayn, appreciate you. But I'm just saying, you haven't seen this guy, bro. I'm not trying to. It's like a boxer. You say you're a boxer, you're a coach's boxer. You got and your fight is doing all right. And he's like, no, I want to fight him. Listen.
There's a reason we use the Thanos voice. Yeah, there's a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Nubian Pharaoh's adopted son says dad went to buy some milk this morning. Big up to you, Nubian Pharaoh's adopted son. And Kishan says, thank you for the super chat as well, Kishan. Says, at the start of the season, an experienced striker was needed due to the unknown of Højlund. Now Højlund has had a season of week in, week out. Do you think this will now stall his progress? And that's pretty much what we've been talking about, Kishan. I hope the last sort of 5-10 minutes has basically let you see where we're at with that. I mean, the chat's really, really, really split. 53% say sign Toney, 47% say no. That just shows you where we're all at. I think we're very conflicted between what Kishan's saying there of stalling the progress of Rasmus Højlund. Or does Erik Ten Hag go, no, the original plan was to get an experienced striker. I just couldn't afford one last year. I still need one. And if I can get one as good as Ivan Toney, then it's going to make us much better. And Rasmus needs to fight for his place and learn. He's still not ready yet. Who knows? Yeah. SK says, I just think you need 2 starting strikers. Number of games, form. What's the point in having another Weghorst? One striker will struggle to play all games. Yeah, exactly. There is you want equal levels. I mean, when City rotate, I know it isn't just in the striker situation because obviously look how good Haaland is. You can't get another him. But when they're just heavily stacked in many positions. Someone comes in on the left, someone comes in on the right, someone comes in central midfield. If someone has to play false 9, look at Alvarez when Thingy's not there. He's the perfect example, isn't he? Yeah. Haaland's amazing, right? Best number 9 in the world, along with Harry Kane, right? And when he doesn't play, they've got this guy called Julian Alvarez, who they bought for like 14 million, something like that.
Yeah, not that much.
And look how good he is. Like we need to. I feel we just.
But he's not too good. You know what I mean? But he's not too good that you go like, oh, Erling, I don't know about that, kind of thing. Because you go, well, it's Erling Haaland. He's not going to replace him. I don't think anyone's going to replace him. And they know he knows his role very well, doesn't he? And like I say, it's very easy to know your role when you're winning stuff because you go, oh, ideally, I'd like to play more. I'd like to be starting more games, but don't really matter. And and this was like at United under Sir Alex. I'm not playing every week, but there'll be big matches that come up this season. My time will come. Like, well, a lot of those players under Sir Alex really go, they're not going to start every week. Your Darren Fletchers, your Jason Parks, your whoever. And you go, but the time will come. There'll be a big game. There'll be a Champions League quarterfinal second leg that I need to be involved in. I'll be involved. I'll do my bit. I'll do my job. And I'll get us to the semi-final. That's how a proper effective squad works.
United says we need to buy an Alvarez cheap with potential, not a Toney. And that's the thing. Like, if we're going to do things a different way, Omar Barada, etc., and co, and whoever the sporting director is going to be by that time, and Ineos, all of that stuff, then that's where we should be looking to go. We've just spent 65 million pretty much on Rasmus Højlund with add-ons to come if he reaches certain things. So the best part, I think, 74 million. It's crazy money. So surely this time we should be able to go and get, like you said, someone who's 20 million, 25 million, 17 million, but is really handy, really good. I don't know. Let's see. Joel Lobo says we need someone like Julian Alvarez instead of Toney, who can play different roles. And Narbrov says if Rashi goes to PSG, who comes into the front 3 with Rasmus and Garnacho? Well, we'll have to go and buy someone, wouldn't we?
Yeah, it'd have to be. Well, it depends what you want to do. Do you want to move Garnacho to the left, and then find someone for the right, or do you want to keep Garnacho on the right and then buy someone for the left?
I really like Pedro Neto. Me.
Would you stick in the Premier League? Would you not go abroad?
Yeah, I mean, Wolves have to sell a lot of players. They're struggling. Who? Inaki Williams.
Yeah,
he's handy. Garassi, people are saying. So obviously, Joshua Zirkzee, we've been, of course, we've been linked to him. Benjamin Šeško, I've really liked him. Benjamin Šeško. Yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting.
I think you also missed a second super chat from Kishan.
Kishan says, not saying we don't need another striker, but one that will compete with Rasmus rather than drop him to the bench. Yeah. Well, okay, rather than drop Rasmus to the bench where he just doesn't play you just a second, and then whoever we buy in, that guy will do it and play all the games. And Nico Williams. It's so interesting how the perceptions can change in a short space of time. Because, when he wasn't doing too good, we were like, he's raw, and this is why we shouldn't have got him only. We needed someone else to come with him, feel sorry for him. Now we're like, but if you had a chance to spend big in the summer, would you spend which is a starting striker for sub 60, 70 million pounds a priority. And you start to feel like it isn't. You kind of want a different type of striker. Don't know. It's true about Pedro. He has had a few long-term injuries, but so has Elise. You know what I mean? So I think these guys are young enough to be all right, and go from there. Right, smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We are over 1,000 people watching live, just under 200 likes. Get the likes up, guys. Get the likes up. We're going to end this poll here as we end the topic. 53% of you said you would sign Ivan Toney. 47% of you said you wouldn't. Yeah, very, very close. Carol J says, please like the stream for an Owen light show. Yeah.
Maybe at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe at the end. Maybe at the end. Right, let's move on, Owen. This Kobbie Mainoo situation is interesting.
Yes, this is quite interesting. So first of all, it's being reported, and I guess this isn't too much of a surprise, that Gareth Southgate is considering calling up Manchester United's Kobbie Mainoo to the next England squad in March. There's people saying that Southgate should take him to the Euros because they're thinking of a midfielder involving Bellingham, Rice, and possibly Kobbie Mainoo or something like that, some form of combination, saying that could be very exciting for the future. But what was also quite interesting, Fleck, was these comments and quotes from Dimitar Berbatov. I think he was talking to Betfair or something like that. And he has said, and this goes into this England stuff, and I guess just the general conversation around Kobbie Mainoo at the moment, saying it's exciting to watch players like Mainoo, especially when they have such huge talent, but one step at a time. Don't jump when you need to walk first. Let's not get carried away and start talking about Mainoo getting picked by Gareth Southgate and going to this summer's Euros with England. Obviously, Ten Hag trusts Mainoo and knows how to manage him, so everything else will follow in time. We need to just enjoy what's happening now and not get carried away just yet. Let Mainoo play. Sometimes we're too quick to judge players for good or bad. Just let Mainoo play and don't put too much pressure on his shoulders. He's too young for that now. He then also said he's doing great, so we need to just let him be, let him play, and let him enjoy himself. The goal he scored against Wolves was great because it shows that he's mature beyond his years. He had the courage to try something different in the last minute of the game, and it was a special moment. Mainoo is a special player, but as with every 18-year-old, we must just let them play because at the moment, Kobbie is just enjoying football in its purest form, and that's what I like to see. What are your thoughts on what Dimitar is saying there? He's saying, you know, back off, basically, let him be, let him play, don't get too carried away. But I do find it interesting that while he's saying, let's not get carried away, in the same breath, he's calling him a special talent and all that kind of stuff. So
because he is a special talent. I think you can, you know, both of those statements can coexist. And exactly that, because he is a special talent, he needs to be nurtured properly. He needs to have the right patience around him. He needs to not have, he's already going to have pressure on him for being as good as he is and playing for who he plays for in us. That just comes with immediate pressure. And us being in transition and not being very good is even more pressure, just the same with Rasmus Højlund. And I 100% agree with what Berb was saying. The problem that we've got is that we always want to hype players up really quickly and call them the second coming of this player and the second coming of that, and not really allow them to be them, you know? And what I would really hate to see happen is us sort of, and not just us, England and just everybody, fast track Kobbie and skip the steps, you know, the 10,000 hours. Like, doesn't matter how good you are. I know there is some exceptions sometimes in football. Like, don't get me wrong. We have seen it. There's enough evidence. Certain players do that. You know, you look at Jude Bellingham, but even Jude Bellingham, like, went through the steps. Like, he didn't go from Birmingham City to Real Madrid.
Put his time in. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? He put his time in, man. He went and then he was the main man at Dortmund, coming up with Haaland and Sancho. Then after that, after smashing it at Dortmund, winning trophies and really putting up big numbers, getting into the England team, then he made his move to Real Madrid, and then look what he's doing. If you go back to some of the players we've seen, obviously there are some anomalies because people like Rooney and like
Owen just burst onto the scene. They're just there, you know.
That good. You know what I mean? Gerrard, same thing. You know what I mean? Scholes, the class of 92. Like, I get it. So if you're good enough, you're old enough. But that's why I'm saying it's not like he shouldn't be. I'm not saying he shouldn't be starting games for Man United, but in terms of fast tracking them into the England squad, into this Euros as well, which is this summer. It's only in a few months. It's like, whoa. Let's just chill. Don't get me wrong. If there was a mad injury crisis and stuff, like, okay, cool. But and the thing that actually is a massive testament to Kobbie is that it's exciting to think of him in that fold. If you sort of like look at how good he's going to be, and you think of like the final version of Kobbie or the even better version of Kobbie that hasn't even arrived yet, and you said Rice, Bellingham, Kobbie, you're like, tell you what, Kobbie next to Declan Rice and bloody Jude Bellingham just ahead of that behind the striker.
And they're young, because sometimes the thing with international football as well, bro. You don't want to just think about the tournament ahead. You want to think about maybe the next tournament or the tournament after that. So if you look at that three and you go, tell you what, come the World Cup 2 years time,
mad. But that's where Kobbie should be looking to go to, and that's of course, by the way, if he doesn't want to play for Ghana, I believe. You know, let's not rule that out. I think we're very quick as England fans, you know, to rule that out and say he must do this or he must do that. It'd be a decision he takes with his family. It'd be a decision that he makes that's best for him. Obviously, I think we can clearly see that he's good enough to, when he, you know, matures, that he's going to be good enough to play for England.
Yeah.
That might not be what's most important to him and his family. We don't know.
Possibly. I mean, he's represented England at every level, hasn't he? So it's not a bit like Musiala, who's sort of gone back and forth a couple of times doing England,
back
doing
and
Germany.
Forth, not sure.
But you never know.
But didn't Jack Grealish do that? Declan Rice?
Declan Rice,
for Ireland for a bit.
They did for Ireland, absolutely. Yeah. So you never know.
It happens, man.
Yeah, you never know. I think I agree with what Berbatov is saying. Certainly, when he's saying, you know, you need to take it steady. It's still early. Let him be, and that's when I think it comes also into the club. They've got to be careful and they've got to protect him as well. You know, not certainly every single. You know, make sure he's not doing loads and loads of interviews and make sure that he is protected and what have you. I mean, when he scored the goal against Wolves. That was, and after the game, he spoke to TNT. That's one of the first, I think, like mainstream interviews he's probably done, right? He hasn't really done any. And I think they've been very calculated about that, which I think is the right thing to do.
Who, Kobbie?
Oh, yeah. Ultimately,
ultimately,
when it comes to that, it's unfortunately, I guess, a bit part of the territory, isn't it? If you play for Man United, if you're a young player and you burst onto the scene, for lack of a better term, like he is now, the pressure is gonna come, isn't it? The pressure's gonna come, the scrutiny, because even from like a media's point of view, they'll start to get fascinated, won't they? They'll go, who's this Kobbie Mainoo guy? We haven't heard that much about him before. Well, let's have a look, you know. So that'll be part of the territory, and that's where I say that's upon United and Ten Hag and all, and the senior players as well to protect him and make sure that he's best protected from the media, because we know how just awful they can be. As far as a call up for the England squad, they always say, don't they, with every major tournament, there's always that one, like a young player that surprises people. And I think he could be that. Now, whether or not he would actually play in Germany, I don't know. I mean, like the report was saying, if come March, he gets called up and he plays, even in like a friendly or whatever, then it might be a bit like, actually, he might have a shot here. Because if Gareth Southgate plays like England's strongest 11, whatever you determine that to be, and Kobbie Mainoo's involved in that, you'll go, he's going to play the Euros. He's going to do it. Yeah. I don't know whether he
should he get called up for some friendlies and stuff then, just to have a look at him, do you reckon? Or is that even that too early?
Yeah. No, do that. Like I said, for me right now, I think there's a good chance he goes to the Euros. I don't know if he plays. I think Gareth Southgate might take that risk.
There's a good chance he goes. But I think because it's Gareth Southgate, Jordan Henderson's back playing.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
Started playing shit, but he's back playing. Yeah. And these guys probably would have been on the plane even if they didn't move.
The other thing I was going to say as well is just that midfield for England is pretty packed out, isn't it? I mean, at this point, you know, they're playing Trent in midfield as opposed to playing him at right back, right? So there's an argument. But that's why I say I think he could go, Kobbie, because they might just take him and be like, we're not going to play him. But, you know, spots are at a premium in the England squad. You know, the days of, you know, because remember for the World Cup squad, there were players that didn't make it. We were like, I can't believe they didn't make it. You know, people obviously like Ivan Toney, people like James Ward-Prowse. James Ward-Prowse should absolutely be in consideration for a spot in the England squad, particularly when you think of penalties and set pieces and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think he'll probably make it either.
But then you have got Trent for that.
But this is what I mean. The talent level is. And it's really not even like British bias or English bias. Legitimately, it's very high for the England squad at the moment. But I don't know. I mean, the polls in the chat saying, you know, Should Kobbie be
52%.
selected in the Euro squad? 52% say yes, 48% say no. I suppose, a bit like with Højlund, right? If that squad is selected in March for the friendly, and then the one for the Euros is, of course, later on. If Kobbie Mainoo keeps up this form, there will absolutely there'll be a conversation, won't there? Oh my God, there'll be a conversation. It's just a case of, part of me though, it's Gareth Southgate, and like you said, Gareth Southgate, I don't even think he should be England manager anyway. I've been saying that for a while. I said that even after we lost in the finals of the last Euros, because I think you look at the opportunities England has had, and he's bottled it on several occasions, playing the same match, the same team, same players. Like you say, you can guarantee certain names that will be in that squad. Maguire, Phillips, Henderson, all of which you go, why? Why? I mean, at least with Maguire, you can go, he's had a half-decent season this season, so I guess I kind of get it. But you look at like Henderson and Phillips. Henderson had to leave Saudi and start playing in Holland, in the Netherlands, Ajax, and even then, even when he was at Liverpool, and he was still in the England squad. Like last year, people were like, "Why is he in the England squad? He's
just
old
trust
now.
him. You just
trust.
Yeah, just trust
Calvin Phillips has done nothing for like 3 years, and he's still getting in the England squad. And he was injured.
Well, by the way.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Gave away the ball against Bournemouth to let Solanke score. McTominay robbed it off him the other day. Got Garnacho the assist from then. Like, he's having a stinker, but he looks like a player who hasn't played in 18 months, to be fair.
But it's just a case of him, like, if he plays for West Ham, he will go to the Euros. To be honest, Flex, even if he doesn't play, he will go to the Euros.
He'll go. He was going to go. That's what
Gareth Southgate does.
Yeah.
He did it last
year. So it doesn't matter
whether
Kobbie Mainoo's there or not. He's still going to pick Henderson or Phillips.
In 2024.
Honestly. Yeah. Well, actually, if not them, it just wouldn't be a Kobbie Mainoo. It would be like he might drop maybe Jude Bellingham back next to Rice and put Foden in a 10, or he might just put Trent.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
You know, something just a bit more progressive.
I think surely he can't pick Rice or Phillips or Henderson. But if Henderson puts it in from now to the end of the season at Ajax and does well,
do you think they both make the squad? Do you think Henderson and Phillips make the squad? Both of them?
Yes.
Maybe Kobbie should play for Ghana.
Yeah, exactly. If that's happening, he may as well. Now, Bruv says Mainoo to be knighted before Rashi. Interesting. And now, Bruv also says, can you please roast and bring Abby back to reality after her holiday on DR Sports Fleck? Well, what do I have to roast her about? Spurs, they got a draw, didn't they? Other than that, they won all the rest, didn't they? But I always like to wind her up, so yeah, I'll try. I don't think I could roast her, but I can wind her up. I'll do that. Bruv says Southgate out here playing checkers, not chess. Shake my head. Yeah, I don't know, man. He's just, but it is rising though. It's getting more towards 60%, as we've been talking about that want him to get selected for the Euro squad. I just personally think it's too early. Just on a personal, forget the other players that are there, like Henderson and Phillips, like who shouldn't go and all that, and Lord Prowse. I just think even just for him, I just want him to just be ours, rest up in the summer. It's his first senior season, playing quite a lot of games, good intensity in the Premier League.
He said had an injury.
Hasn't had had that long injury. I just think, bro, just recharge. He doesn't have to at 18. I'm not saying he can't cope. I'm not saying he definitely would fail or would definitely get injured or it would definitely be detrimental to him. But if I could just choose, I would say let him put his feet up, let him go on his holidays to Vegas and bloody Dubai where he's going to go with his friends. He would have earned that, had a really good season. He seems like a really good guy, really good kid, so he could just reflect with his family, just take it all in and have some time to just breathe and go, wow, look what I achieved. Sometimes if you get too much too quick, you don't get a chance to take it all in. And then it's as soon as you get back from Euros, you get into pre-season late as well, because depending on how far England go. And then it just...
But like you say, if you're ready, then you're ready.
I do.
You
I
look
know.
at Wayne Rooney.
It's more the
Euro
wrapping in cotton wool
2004
thing for me.
Wayne Rooney Euro 2004. I mean, granted, I think he did have a season of Premier League football under his belt by that point. But this is an interesting one. Like Anton says here, Henderson, Phillips, and Gallagher will all get picked ahead of Kobbie Mainoo. Flex, is Kobbie Mainoo better than all those three?
Than who?
Henderson, Phillips, and Gallagher.
Technically, when you look at him, with what he can do with
Let's
the ball,
do it one by one. Who would you rather have in your team at the moment? Mainoo or Henderson?
Oh, at the moment, he's better than all of them.
Right. Calvin Phillips.
Well, Gallagher's playing well.
But who would you rather have in your team?
I'd rather have Kobbie Mainoo.
Then why shouldn't he be in the England squad?
But because we're doing that off of like he's our guy. He's played 10 games.
Not even our guy. Not even our guy. I'd say technical ability, quality, and how good he can be between now and the end of the season. Now
we still have to. I get it. Like, I love Kobbie. He's fantastic. He's got a higher ceiling than these players, and I believe he's going to be better than all of these players, and is in loads of departments now when he shouldn't even really be after. What is it? 9 starts?
Something like that.
10. It's ridiculous. He's literally burst onto the scene. Although it was supposed to happen this year, clearly what we saw from preseason. But like I don't want to fast track him. Just let him cook.
I'm not saying he's going to play every game in the tournament as well. I'm saying he might go and he might play no games. But as part of his development, it'd be good for him to go.
It'd be good for him to be there. Yeah,
for him to go.
Yeah,
be part of that.
Yeah,
because again, like I said, the midfield in England is unbelievably strong. Of course it is. And just him training every day. When you train with good players, you get better. You think Kobbie Mainoo training with Jude Bellingham or training with, whoever, Declan Rice, Phil Foden. You can name all of the Trent. Those are people that are top quality midfielders. I know Trent's right back, but he should be a midfielder. Like that will make him better. That he will become a better player
Rice,
for that.
Trent, Bellingham, Mainoo, Foden, Maddison. Bloody hell.
And if I was Southgate again,
get out of here, man. We got to win something with this team.
And again, I don't know what Gareth Southgate, if he's going to be around by the World Cup. I really, really, really hope not. But if I was looking that forward, I'd be like, well, yeah, I'm not really going to play him in this tournament, but it'd be good to have him around. So by the time the World Cup rolls around, he's integrated, he's ready, he knows the players.
But is he ready to put a spot down for that? I think because he's got so much options in midfield, maybe, but he might want to bring another defender in case if someone's a bit injury prone going into it. I think he's on the radar.
If you know your best midfield and he knows his best midfield and maybe the sort of replacement that he would have or people that he would bring in, you know what your fringe spots are in the squad, don't you? Because let's be honest, I know that is it a 25-man squad? Was it? I forget.
I think it might go down to lower though.
It's 23, something like that. It's around that number, isn't
22.
it?
22. I think it might be 22,
But you know people, because there is all the time. Remember when like Connor Cody, did Connor Cody go to the World Cup in 2022?
Yeah, for vibes. Yeah, because he was good, like just around the place. Yeah,
you know people that you're bringing, you're not going to play. Absolutely, So I put him in there. Why not? Because they do the thing, don't they?
Yeah, it's 23.
23. But sometimes they name like 25, don't they? And then they cut
and then you cut it down after the which is that's sad, isn't it? You're getting to 25, you could do a couple of trading sessions and then you get cut. Awful. But I think we've got enough in that in that area of the pitch to sort of, if he did go, it would be sort of, he's not going to start ahead of those big players. But like you said, when you look at how Henderson and Phillips have been doing, he will be more informed than them. But
then I suppose then that's when Gareth Southgate will go into the situation where he's like, well, if I'm going to give someone a spot where I know they're not going to play, do I give it to a youngster to develop him, or do I give it to an experienced person to help? Or do I give it to a senior person to help the environment, help the group? Because he won't
pick Mainoo over Henderson, even if Henderson's not going to play.
He'll give a spot to Jordan Henderson, knowing I'm never going to play Jordan Henderson, but he's an experienced person and be good for the group. He does that.
Or or if someone does get injured, like if Jude gets a hamstring, or we win the group comfortably, and then bloody need to rest. Like he can trust Jordan Henderson to come in for a game or come in for 15 minutes. That's how Gareth Southgate sees it.
Or if you've won the group and you've got a Kobbie Mainoo, you think, brilliant, I can give him a game in the Euros. And I don't have to worry about pressure and expectation. Not that he can't deal with it.
Nah, he'll think the other way. He'd think the experience.
Well, I don't like Gareth Southgate. I don't like Gareth Southgate.
I know you don't.
Yeah,
but
he's
our manager.
Rubbish.
Have respect for our manager.
Rubbish.
Back your own.
Terrible.
Back your manager.
He is awful.
Stop wanting your manager out. He's given us the most success since 1966.
Man. Oh, don't even
more than anyone. He's done more than anyone else, mate. He give us belief, mate. Yeah, first final in your lifetime, mate.
I know, against Italy. And then they didn't qualify for a World Cup before or after because they were so great. Oh, were we at home, Flex? Oh, yes, we were. Yeah. We were at Wembley. Did we go 1-0 up? Oh, yes, we did. Just like in the World Cup semi-final. And then we did the exact same thing. We let the game just peter out into nothingness.
Harry Kane
Yeah.
got to score a pen.
And
Spurs.
then
blame Spurs.
and
Blame
then-
Spurs, mate. It's not.
Oh,
I thought we say managers. What can he do? He can't put the ball in the back of the net. He set us up, right? Harry Kane blasted it over, 3-point conversion.
And then talk about that run to the finals where they go, oh, yeah, we made the final. Who did we beat? And then if people say Germany, how good have Germany been for the last, 12 years since they won the World Cup?
Play what's in front of you, mate. What do you want us to do?
They've done nothing. They had Joachim Löw still on the touchline sniffing his armpits and all that kind of stuff.
What do you want a harder group? We got out the group. We won it. We got to the final, mate. It's unlucky. Can't win all the finals. Klopp lost a few finals. Klopp lost quite a few.
Remember in that, what was it like the first game or something like that when he played 3 right backs? What's his obsession with right backs?
Mate, got far. It worked. Got far. That's what I mean. He's done more than any manager has since 1966, man. Who was that? What, Alf Ramsey?
Yeah, but does he? I tell you what, though, Flex, does he have the best squad since 1966?
Yeah, that's why I'm being patient. Well, I don't know. Is this better than Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes, Rio, Terry, Owen, Rooney?
You know what's funny with
it's not.
that conversation? You know what's funny with that conversation, though? People will say that, but then you also then have to talk about the competition because during that period as well, a lot of other countries had very strong squads, right? Brazil,
but we still massively underperformed.
Yes, absolutely. But now you would, at that point in time, would you say England had the best squad in the world?
At what point?
Like that sort of generation, the sort of Gerrard, Lampard, 2004, 2006?
Not the best, but one of, yes. Because them players in there right are votes in football.
Would you say we got the best now? Best squad?
One of, yeah, definitely. Right up there. Top 2 or 3. Top 3, definitely. Yes. 100%. Because, like you said, because the level has sort of come down a bit.
Of others,
yeah,
isn't exactly
the level
the
of
same.
others isn't there, which is why it's our best time to win something. And the players that we have got some of them are unbelievable. Now you look at Rice, you look at Foden, you look at Trent, you look at Kane, Bellingham. Is that 5 I just named there? That's 5, and Trent don't even start all the time.
But we still got Jordan Pickford in goal.
Yeah. But who's the top, the other goalkeeper ain't even starting for Arsenal now. Nick Pope's injured. Dean Henderson's injured and all rubbish. Or not rubbish, but just, we're not really blessed like that. Right back, we've had the best right back that the Prem's ever seen. We've got playing in Walker.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, and then centre backs peak because, like I said, that's what I'm saying. When you say like Terry and Ferdinand or what's his face, Sol Campbell and that, Harry Maguire can't get near them. Man.
John Stones, though. Yeah,
John Stones is really good. He's been injured a lot. He's trying to get going, but he's top. Luke Shaw, you got there. He's no Ashley Cole, but he's good. And the front line, you got Saka, who's really good. Foden, Kane, unbelievable striker. And then
Ivan Toney.
Ivan Toney, unbelievable striker. And then on the left wing's kind of up for grabs, isn't it? Because Grealish has been shit this year. Rashford's been shit this year. Mate, put Anthony Gordon in. He's been good.
Yeah. Would you take
yeah.
And I guess circling back to what we were talking about Ivan Toney earlier on, would you take Ivan Toney to the Euros?
Yeah, of course.
He should go.
Yeah. Oh, but then Ollie Watkins won't go.
Ollie Watkins is good as well.
All three.
I tell you what, people would. I remember having the Ollie Watkins conversation. I think it was this past summer, or maybe even before that. And I said, I'd take Ollie Watkins at Man United. And the pushback, of, no, he's not good enough. I tell you what, he is the ultimate system striker, is what he is. He presses, he gets assists, he gets goals, he runs. He's quality too. Options.
Yeah. It's true. It's interesting, actually. Maybe Ivan Toney won't go, though, because they're going to be in a relegation battle. Their next run of games is really hard, actually, Brentford. Ollie Watkins has been doing really well all year.
And last season.
And Ivan Toney's been out for ages because of the ban. That's a good question, Is there space for all 3?
Because really, with the World Cup last time with Toney, he was like the second top goal scorer in the Premier League, and he didn't go. And it's got nothing to do with his ban. It absolutely had stuff to do with his ban, even though they denied it. This time around, would they do it? I think you got to take it, but penalty shootouts as well. Flex, he scores penalties.
Yeah, he does.
He does.
He's got to go. But can they bring all 3 and then just don't take Wilson? Solanke's been good as well.
You take if I was going to pick 3, they'd be my 3.
Yeah, that's the 3.
Kane, Watkins,
just below. Yeah. Can you bring 3 strikers? You can. 3 strikers. Then you got Saka, Foden. Grealish is going to go, let's be honest. Rashford's going to go, let's be honest. 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 attackers with the 3 strikers. Then you're looking at the 10s. Maddison's going to go. Bellingham, obviously. Who else? Could Cole Palmer get in?
Possibly.
Where's he going to go?
I don't know.
We was talking about this yesterday. He's good enough to, definitely. He's had a great season and he's going to continue to. But I don't know if he's never going to play instead of Saka or Foden on the right. Never.
Yeah. I said that, and that's what I'm saying. There's options. There's absolutely options.
Anthony Gordon deserves to be in there on the left, because on the left we're actually been crap. He's been the best left winger this year.
Yeah.
English. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, Bruv says, in rugby league, if you're good enough, if you're old enough, I swear you wrap these kids and act like they've got the world on their shoulders. Well, some of them do, but I do get it. If you're good enough, you're old enough. And like we said, we just drew comparisons to players who were definitely in that pool. But after 10 games, we can't say that yet. We need to see how Kobbie does from now to the end of the season, is what I'm saying, which I think is going to be good. So we'll see. Chalaboy Comics says, since we all know Mainoo is special, should a huge consideration for Man United manager candidacy, Eric Ten Hag's future, be how they'll take care of him, of Kobbie Mainoo? Trust Eric Ten Hag. Just huge consideration for Man United manager candidacy. Just basically how bigging him up, saying that.
I think basically sort of saying if they were to make a change from Ten Hag, whoever that person would be, they'd have to be, I guess, have a bit of a track record of just of youth in general. We've got a lot of young players in that team, and that's one of the positives of Ten Hag, isn't it? Is he does have a track record of working with younger players.
Yeah, exactly. And I've read that already. Well, there you go. We got over to 1,000 people watching. We didn't get 500 likes. We're at 280. On the way out, please push the likes up. Had a little bit of a pre-Euros chat there as well, just for no reason.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, one of my favorite times on United View was December 2022. I did so many World Cup games, and we got a lot of famous clips and sound bites from that. Panenka was born, etc. Kane for Spain. Born. I think I literally, the vein in my neck exploded during one of them as well. So that's going to be coming back in the summer. Euroview is going to be back. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Euroview. Yeah, there you go. Take care, guys. Thanks for getting involved. As usual, remember, cracks only in the link in the video description below to get your official merch from them. We'll see you on the next video very, very soon. Take care, guys. Peace.